nothing.
Well, one particular group of people are hoping that he does not go to the Chargers, or Patriots fans. They're desperate. And someone even wrote, "Stay Tom," in a snow-covered field. And Brady posted a picture of it to Instagram with the caption, "Love you all." Now, I will say, if I was, trying to contemplate where I was going to go, looking at an endless field of snow and dead trees was probably not the way I wanted to do it. But I feel like he's leaving for multiple reasons.
Okay, give me them.
Well, first of all, the most important reason is, and we've discussed this before, I think that, ego is an important thing to certain people. And the entire narrative since they began winning championships is, are you on Belichick's side or are you on Brady's side? Who is more responsible for this dynasty? Now, in reality, they're both obviously responsible for the dynasty. But if one of them can go on and win another Super Bowl, even if Tom can go somewhere else, because we assume Belichick's going to coach for a little while longer. He's going to have a longer amount of time to win a Super Bowl. If Tom can go somewhere else and win another Super Bowl, that's going to, I think, is going to play a bigger role in, looking back on this dynasty, who mattered more. Now, it's silly because who cares, really? Like, they had an incredible run. It will never happen again in the history of the NFL and whatever. But I think that's one part of it. And two, I think that, what happened in New England with the money and not getting him the players and the pieces that he needed, especially, we talk about windows all the time. He's left so much money on the table for them to not have pieces around him that he needs, knowing that Gronkowski is going to retire, knowing that your pieces are getting older, knowing that he left money on the table. That lack of aggression to bring in free agents, people want to play there. They want to play for Belichick. They want to play with Tom Brady. So I think there's a little bit of tension there.
Yeah, it is weird when you look at Brady's taking all these pay cuts, and then you look at it and you're like, well, where's the money going? They don't pay a tight end anymore. They pay Stephon Gilmore. They don't pay any of their pass rushers big money. They don't pay any of their offensive linemen big money. It's almost like it's, sometimes you see these businesses, and you're like, you ever seen a business and wondered, like, where the money is going? Like, New England's a classic. Where's the money going? Like, are they paying everybody like B level? They don't have any D contracts.
Right.
But outside of Gilmore, they don't have a single player that's highest paid or near highest paid. They don't have a tight end they pay any money to. They don't pay their quarterback any money. They don't pay any of these backs any money. They don't pay anybody in their offensive line any money. Who are they paying?
I don't know. And it's not that they're a poorly run organization.
No.
Obviously not. But how do you think Tom feels looking at Patrick Mahomes and what he has to work with?
Well, let's take somebody else.
Phillip Rivers, as we're talking about him going to the Chargers.
How about Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins makes $7 million more a year. I don't think it's the Patrick Mahomes. Like, I understand him looking at Patrick and saying he's new, he's hot, his contract's up. But I think he looks at Kirk Cousins and thinks, all right, time out. Come on. That's the guys that drive you crazy. It's not the superstar at the top. You're like, everybody gets, it's time, your contract's up, and you're great. I think Tom gets that. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I think the middle guys, that's what irritates him.
Right. And so to me, I think those two factors, him wanting to win a Super Bowl outside of Belichick and just being fed up with not having the pieces around him and him having to carry the team while leaving all that money on the table, is going to play a role in him leaving. So the Cowboys still haven't locked Dak Prescott into a long-term deal, and Stephen Jones says that's the first thing on their to-do list this offseason.
It's been urgent for us. We want to certainly get that done, and that's our number one priority as we go into the offseason, is to get his contract, hopefully, find some resolution to it and get that done.
He also said re-signing Amari Cooper is the number 2 priority. I've said this forever with Dak Prescott. I don't get it. I don't know what their long-term plan is. If they don't keep Dak Prescott, do they have somebody else? Are they going to draft someone? You've got the guy. Figure it out. You've got Mike McCarthy. He did wonders for Aaron Rodgers. Everyone forgets we just have amnesia about the beginning of Aaron Rodgers' career.
Well,
Everyone just forgets they completely changed his throwing motion. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, people go to YouTube and look at Aaron Rodgers' throwing motion at Cal and look at it under McCarthy. I remember Aaron Rodgers at Cal. I can remember this, Joy. I remember watching a game against USC. He was so mechanical. Aaron was one of those guys, he kept the ball right here all the time, and McCarthy loosened him up. Now Aaron's made several changes to his mechanics, his feet, his hips. But it also should be noted that Aaron Rodgers came down slightly without McCarthy, for all the McCarthy bashers.
Right. So, and I'm not saying that Mike McCarthy is solely responsible for Aaron Rodgers' success. Obviously, he's an incredible talent. But what's the plan? So you franchise him this year. Then what?
Then you draft a quarterback.
With what? Are you planning on being terrible next year? Because they're not going to be bad next year.
Goulet, what did you just give me a thumbs up on that?
Draft a quarterback. You have a year for him to develop. If he's good, then you can say goodbye to Dak. And if he doesn't develop, then you can franchise him again or do a long-term deal.
I'm sweating. I hate this plan for the Cowboys. I actually almost hope they do it because I know it's going to backfire so badly that, and that's not what I want. Like, I want the Cowboys to be competitive because they're great for us. They're great for business. So just give Dak his contract, which I actually believe they're going to do. Finally, Zion Williamson is finally making his NBA debut tonight.
For Zion.
Yes.
Very exciting. Yes.
Congrats, Zion, on your recovery. Suffered a knee injury in the preseason, and he said the road to recovery was a difficult one.
The rehab workouts, they're long and strenuous. It was a lot of times when I just wanted to punch a wall or kick chairs because it's frustrating. To not be able to move your body the way you want to, not to make any athletic movements. I mean, it's tough, especially since I'm 19 and haven't even played my first NBA game. So it was tough, but I battled through it.
Feel for Zion because recovery is incredibly frustrating. And when you're coming into your first NBA season and with the buzz that Zion came into the league with to then get an injury that you have to work through, to miss this amount of time of the season is incredibly frustrating. I mean, you've had some minor injuries before. Like, when your body is not responding the way that you want it to, especially at his age. Once you get older, you kind of start like, oh, okay, this hurts a little bit. Like, I'm going to have to work on that. But, I mean, he's 19 years old. Like, this is not how things are supposed to be going.
Working out and seeing results. Like, I worked out today, and then I threw a touchdown pass tomorrow.
Right.
Is rewarding. I'm working out today, and I can't play is frustrating. It's nice to work out. Like, I work out, and it allows me to go have a big fat steak. So I'm like, oh, I worked out.
So that's rewarding.
That I work out so I can eat more.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. That's the only reason that I work out. But rehab is awful. So I'm sure he was very frustrated. We're very excited to see him tonight. And they are going to watch his minutes. He's not going to be on a hard minutes restriction, but they are going to, pay attention to how many minutes he plays.
All right. Enjoy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The champ, former NFL quarterback Steve Berline, some thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo. I think one of the guys said this morning in the last, he's thrown 14 passes in the last, 6 quarters? Is it frustrating when you are on a run-dominant team? That's coming up. Folks, listen up. Great new deal from our friends at Tecovas. I love this. Boots, I can't wait to tell you about. Deals only available free to my listeners through January 31st. Tecovas is a handmade, high-quality, full-grain leathers, world-class boot makers. No compromises or shortcuts ever. Styles for their boots are classic and handsome. Go to a bar, go dancing, or go to a corporate event. Free shipping, free returns, and they trust their product so much, exchanges don't cost anything either. Right now, when you make a $150 purchase and you enter HERD at checkout, you'll get a free hand-stitched calfskin card case. It's a $45 value. Now Tecovas doesn't discount their products because they sell them directly to you at amazing prices. This card case, though, free with a $150 purchase. Just for our listeners, time is running out. January 31st is the deadline. Visit TECOVAS.com/HERD.